Hello, in this video we'll talk about performance and how to make performance a bit better, or perhaps a lot better, perhaps even make your application actually work without it freezing and crashing and all those things. Now, there is not going to be any theory as such, at least not too much of that. What we will look at is just a better way to use params in C#, one of the latest versions of C#, .NET, .NET 10 it would be, just passing through those param arrays, not necessarily objects. These days we use all kinds of specified parameters and objects and all kinds of things. But in this case, we will be looking just as a simple parameter array, but there is now a better way to pass it. And as you can see right here, a better way to improve performance, a huge performance improvement even at these small numbers. So let's get into it and let's see this very simple, quick method to do it. For this quick example, as far as the code goes at least, we are using benchmark.net, a very useful thing to have in C#. There are videos about that on this channel. Basically, it just sort of will benchmark your methods and whatever you have in them. Again, very useful tool if you're trying to determine perhaps a better way to do a certain memory consuming task or CPU consuming task. Maybe you want to just make it a bit more efficient, a very useful library to know about, and there are videos for that to watch. But what we're doing here, quite simply comparing the old way to pass param arrays, parameters or params or whatever you want to call it, to a method. And essentially, the problem becomes with params like here, the old way. Now it would be from .NET 10, the newer C# versions, essentially. We don't have to use this. There is a better way. But in a tight loop, these essentially get allocated to the heap, and they essentially get allocated for no good reason. The better way now is to just use read-only span. You will need to specify your type, like you have here. And of course, with parameters, you had a few other options. Here is the same thing. Nothing really changes. The only thing is that we change this to read-only span. So instead of params, an integer, that's essentially a list, if you want to call it, or rather an array of any parameters if you're not familiar with that. And you can watch some other videos on the original implementations of this thing. But if you ever used any libraries, you've seen that you can pass any number of parameters to your method. And you used to use this params and your array of a certain type. It could be an object as well, and you can cast it and do all those things. But now the main thing is we use read-only span. The difference, the main theoretical difference, which at this point you can turn off the video and you don't have to really watch it, but you can get the source code and experience yourself from Patreon, where you can find some interesting courses for free on certain tiers. But essentially, this won't cause a sort of nasty heap allocation on the memory when using any of the C# code. And then compared to some asynchronous awaits, you can block fewer threads and do all those things, and it will make your performance a lot more efficient. So the main thing is you need to use read-only span instead of parameters. There is basically no downside now, except for if you have your old code base, you will need to make these changes. But as you can see, the actual code, we have here just a simple loop just for benchmarking for each loop, and we have an array of numbers, right? We have numbers, array of numbers, And then we have a for each loop. And as you can see with a new Visual Studio features, it highlights when you highlight something that's the same on your code, or you select in a way, you can see that it is exactly the same. So there is actually no change in syntax as well, except for the changes in the parameters of the method, which in this case would only be params, and you can very easily just probably replace all in your code. And again, there is no real sort of change and bad thing going on if you do that. So do check this out. Do check out this feature, and this will be part of several videos, a series of several videos on this channel. Take a look at those. It will be about performance, just basic things to change in your C#.NET code to improve performance. Nothing too theoretical, nothing too of a deep dive, just very few simple changes that can improve your performance by quite a bit, as you have seen. In this case, this is almost 4 times faster. So all these things will be about the same, just a few simple changes. You improve your performance, and you don't have to think which one is better, which one is worse. Just a simple, clear improvement. And with that said, we will conclude this video.